And so we want to recognize those folks that we feel like have done an outstanding job. Not that you all have not, but we wanted to recognize several people tonight who we feel like epitomize that effort here in our firm. The first of those is a person who joined us several years ago. She has been the linchpin of our corporate services business. I have said to you many times, we are going to grow that business, and we are focused on this company getting 50% of its revenues on a recurring basis. That's from management, that's from mortgage servicing, and that's from corporate services. And the person that's helped jumpstart us and move us in that direction is Nicole Little. Is someone who has been with the firm for many years. I'll tell you what, I go to sleep at night knowing that everything's all right here, because if it weren't, I'd probably be in jail personally, along with a couple of other officers of the company. And I'm talking about a person who heads up our mortgage servicing department. Jean Hilton. Is the perfect example of my servant hero. She works, she looks after everything, she does it exactly right. If she thinks anything sideways, she goes to Kathy, she goes to Hank, she comes to me, she goes to somebody, and she keeps us. And I'll tell you one thing, if you think about mortgage servicing, getting the taxes, paying the taxes, getting the insurance, doing all the things that have to be done to make sure we're square, this lady and her partner Betty and Aaron have done a marvelous job, and we want to say thank you.
Visual. Angelique, come here for a minute. Angelique not only has had a personal challenge this year that she's overcome, which we're very, very happy about. She has just done a phenomenal job with the accounting group. She's been with us for 4 years now, and she's handling 25 properties regularly. She picked up another 10 properties this year when we needed her, and she's done an excellent job with her team. And thank you very much for your service.
And he went to work on the retail brokerage side and eventually landed on the Alex team, and has done a superb job in helping build our tenant rep practice with all the detailed work and digging and scratching to find sites and spaces to put these tenants in. So help me congratulate Greg Eisenman.
Freezer cooler deals and other new business that's down the road, and he's done that, becoming an expert in adding value to the client. I'm talking about Chris Cummings. Where is that? And she does absolutely a marvelous job of taking care of the money that you bring in, the revenue. She's accounts receivable, accounts payable. She's as straight as an arrow, and she's an enormous talent inside the company, and I just want to recognize her. So let's give her a... But to actually, Ryan, to actually participate in the cooking. And what's amazing, and I want you to hear this, out of all the brokerage companies that were there were all these managing leaders or directors of these brokerage companies out there. He had a huge list of them. Most of them, some signed up for one time. Cushman signed up for 2. And Colliers signed up for 3. And we're going to be out there with Hugh on the weekend helping him cook for the homeless. But we want to recognize you personally for community right now. Hugh.
Been part of his email chains and have gone to dinner and to drinks afterwards. This gentleman is all about having fun with his team. And he's not here tonight, but let's give Will Tyler a... Next individual has an extremely important job with our firm. She started with us as an assistant, and she has worked her way up now for 6 years with us. And she has 75, 80 properties that she's handling with a team of 13 or 14. She takes them on whitewater rafting trips. She's constantly motivating her team. Alberta, would you mind coming up here?
Being around Martha, she is the most positive, humble, perfect human I've ever met in my life. How about dedicated? How about committed? How about everything else? But she is absolutely, if she isn't anything, she takes the positive, fun view of everything that happens, whether it's a tough interaction with a broker, that never happens, right? Or a difficult day at the job. I don't care what it is, I'll see her at 6:30 or 7 o'clock at night, and she's always got a smile on her face and the right attitude that absolutely makes you feel bad for sometimes the way you feel. So let's get Martha up. And we have had more and more events that are training related, that are fun and related, that are related to the culture of the company. So the person most responsible for that, we're going to recognize tonight for fun, and that's Sutton Henderson.
We have a bunch of very difficult industrial development brokers. She's shifted over. She helped Bill Law for a while. She's helped me. She's helped everybody in the office. I don't know anybody in the office that's really done more in a congenial fashion than Senator. She's a pleasure to have around. We're just delighted you will get this board. The company was really composed of 11 brokers and about 11 employees. And it was really two companies. It was a Caldwell company, but it was Caldwell Mortgage Company, Caldwell Real Estate Company. Bob Allen and Nick Schultz and Bill Law with the real estate end of it, and Phil Davis now with the mortgage end, along with 4 or 5 other guys. But the real estate guys came to us and said, we got a group of people that want to join us. There's 6 of them. We call them the 6-pack. It's a fascinating group of guys. They're 2 industrial, 4 industrial, 4 office guys. We want them to join our firm. They're great guys, and we said that's okay, but I mean, we don't really know them at all. We heard they're good guys, but there's one little short guy that makes a lot of noise we're concerned about. That we're not sure about. We'll check that out as we go. Not only that, but then they said we need to borrow about $200,000 to get through the next year. The first year's kind of tough. We need to borrow money. We said, well, you're out of your mind. We shouldn't do that. That's crazy. Well, the first year they produced about $300,000 in gross income, and we used the line of credit, which we were planning to do, and things were slow, which they always are when you move. But over the next 9 years, during the 90s, they brought in $22 million. Since 2000, the last 10 years, they brought in $24 billion in fees. They produced, in those first 10 years, 40% of our business. The last 10 years, they produced about 25% of our business. Not only the business, but these guys have been leaders in our firm, and you'll know who they are. They've been here 20 years, and I think there's not another firm, period, in Atlanta that has 6 guys that started and stayed with our firm for this long. We call them the 6-pack, and I'd like them to come up, and I've got a couple more words to say. Fred Sheets, Mike Spears, Russ Johnson, Bob Matthews, Bob Ward, who's not here, Bill Buis. They've been very active in their churches, and one of them fought an award. One of them, we've got a lot of leaders within the civic community here. It's a very long list, a very impressive list of what they've all done. But this firm, I remember the first meeting we had, it was a sales banquet we had, and it was a discussion about they have just joined us, and I'm glad they were to be here. They're drinking from a well they didn't dig, which was an appropriate thing to say, but I think we can all say now they've dug this well much, much deeper, and it's got very good water in it.
Just a quick story for me. It's 1990 and this opportunity comes along. I want to correct Vic on one thing. Henry Sawyer was actually the third partner. Not Nick. And in fact, I think it was Henry was the actual catalyst of the original introduction. So Henry and I and Bill get to know all these guys, and we come around to the conclusion that this is a pretty good idea. So we spring it on Phil and Vic. And like Vic said, they said, you got about 9 guys in here, you can bring in 6, all at one time. And so we did it. I applaud everything Vic said. Everything he said was exactly the truth. Now, I talked to Bill Law yesterday, and Bill's sorry he couldn't be here. But he ran the company for at least 25 years. Made thousands of decisions, and he told me, he said, the best decision he ever made was hiring these 6 guys. And I agree with him.
You rocking now? Eh? You take care of that thing, eh? Baby, stop acting so crazy.